Okay, welcome back to another episode of Unsinkable Theory, a show where we talk to you guys about our favorite movies and movie moments, and at the end we will decide if that movie is sinkable or unsinkable. So we just watched They Live, 1988.
Directed by John Carpenter.
Yep.
A classic horror movie director and composer. $4 million budget.
So, and we said that was what, $8 million today?
$8 million
Something
today.
like that.
Yeah. So relatively low budget.
Yeah. So he directed it. What else did he do?
He did the music and he did the script as well.
Script as well. Okay. And then for the music, he went under. What was the name? I forget.
It was like Frank Armitage or
Frank
something
Armitage,
like that.
okay.
He used a pseudonym, so it didn't seem like he was being egotistical or like bragging that he like did everything for this movie almost.
Yeah.
That's just what I read.
I don't remember music in this movie really.
There was the music was, I thought, pretty good. I think it was one of the better parts of the movie. It gave it like the eerie tone.
I literally do not remember a single part of the music.
I remember.
I really
it's
don't.
one of the most memorable parts for me.
Nothing sticks out to me because I'm remembering the music.
I remember the part where it's him and what was that guy's name? The other construction worker that was with Frank.
Yeah.
When they first discover what's going on, there's one kind of musical motif that just continues for what seems like 2 or 3 minutes with that bass line.
Yeah.
Where it was like I can't remember
like,
how it went, but
they're so good at just making the eerie music and making this situation a little more tense because I didn't think anything particularly stood out like acting wise except for a few moments,
right,
or directorial wise or anything like that. So the music is what really kept me in. I was thinking about it and I was like, it did a good job. It was quality.
Yeah. Billy, will you pull your mic in a little bit just to be safe? I'm not sure if it's gonna be fine, but yeah, it was a weird movie. Definitely really weird. I really don't know how to feel about it. Because like there's parts that are really funny where he just goes into the bank and just starts shooting all these people, and then there's other parts that just kind of linger and nothing happens, and then he gets thrown out of a window, and that's funny. It was just a lot of
there was
good
definitely
parts and bad part. Like
I feel like there was definitely some issues with timing and with pace and the script that like it needed further editing. I feel like the whole middle of the movie probably could have been chopped, and then they could have had a longer third act or a longer second act where actually like some story or some stuff happened to the main protagonist.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, and then like I wanted the whole time I wanted him to be like figuring out this plot against the Earth and like trying to fight these aliens, and they kind of only did that for like 20 minutes at the end of the movie.
Yeah, right at the end.
You have anything?
I mean, not that goes off that.
Oh.
Going back to funny things, I thought it was funny when they were the aliens, the police were destroying the homeless camp. They start running down that alley, and then all of a sudden, 9 cops just come out, form a perfect line right as they get there when there's no one down there before.
You just
like
you just see the flare just come around the corner.
Yeah.
It was like they've already done it. Seems like the area would be secured, and they just needed to get that guy into the building.
Right.
Yeah. They kept focusing on the one guy smoking a cigarette in the building. I was like, okay. He's like, there's a World War III out there?
You could definitely feel like the 80s in this movie, especially like with the direction, I feel. You could just like the 80s was like, just all over this movie.
You mean like the campiness?
Yeah, the campiness and the kind of like, if you've seen, they kind of reference John Carpenter and George Romero at the end.
Yeah.
And you can definitely kind of like, it really has that feel of that type of movie. So I could understand why it has the cult following that it does and why people like the movie, but I would generally have to agree with critics from the time that gave it bad reviews, because that's what the facts are about it. Was kind of negatively received, but it was negatively received for its political message, but I would say that it just wasn't that great of a movie in general. I kind of liked the political message. It was good. It kind of mirrors sort of what we have today with social media and
all the TV watching.
The staying woke and stuff like that.
Right.
So I feel like it does still have a political message that goes across generations or decades.
And that could probably help with
other
that cult
than
following.
that, I would say that's where the cult following is maintained.
Right. I mean, it was an interesting movie. I just don't think it was very fun to watch, except for a few bits here and there.
Yeah.
I liked all his tripping.
How he's falling down.
He's just
constantly.
slipping over everything.
Falling.
Yeah.
Like how he falls into the secret location.
It's pretty funny.
And then he Falcon kicks it.
And then he just fixes it, and then he kicks it later.
No, but I mean, so is this based off like a book or anything, or
It's
was
a
this
short story.
Short story.
It says at the beginning it's based off a short story by
Oh.
like Ray Newman or something.
I must
like
have missed that part.
And I think it's just the general concept of the guy finding a way to see the truth in
Right.
what he thinks is reality.
Right.
It almost felt like that Apple commercial, where everyone's like looking at the screen and the lady throws the jackhammer, or not the jackhammer, the sledgehammer into the screen.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's like their famous one. I feel like it's been parodied a whole bunch.
Maybe I've seen it. I just can't think of what it is.
But it was like, Apple's different. IBM's the bad guy. Brainwashing you.
Except I would say it's
Think
the reverse
different.
now.
Is it like the early 2000s?
No, it's
Or-
in the 80s. Apple 80s.
Oh, it's
commercial.
80s. Okay,
Yeah.
well, like not recent. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was asking.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not recent. Okay.
So the one thing that I feel like stood out to all of us was the fight scene, which was
The 6-minute fight scene.
the 6-minute fight scene between Frank and what was his name? Naga or something? I don't even know what the main character's name.
I don't know what the main character's name was either.
Did he ever say his name?
No, they didn't really give a name for him. I think it said Naga or something on the IMDb
Pull it
credits.
up.
I don't have
If you want to. Your phone's right there.
But so there was a 6-minute fight scene, and you could just see the WWF Roddy Piper moves getting thrown out, the suplexes,
Oh my
and
gosh.
the fake punches and stuff.
The,
It's hilarious.
The one part where he's like got him in some sort of grab, and then he like gets on the wall and pushes him off.
Yeah,
That was my favorite part.
I liked when like they're on the ground and he would just like their legs would just be barely intertwined,
You
and
could
he would
see-
just twist his hips and the other guy just go flying.
yeah. Like you could see the guy was supposed to be kneeing the other guy in the crotch, and you could just see his like leg hitting the ground before it even hit
Oh my gosh.
any part of it.
The sound effects for
Yeah.
punches. Was John
And-
Carpenter
and-
was he just trying to fuck around?
I don't
Like,
know. I
what
don't
was he
know,
doing?
But
Dude, good sound effects cost money.
right, and
Not
then
really.
like
do they? Do
Yeah.
they though?
I feel like we had the same type of quality sound effects in movies that we messed around with in like the 6th grade in 2006.
I mean, he did have a $4 million budget. I guess the Foley department was non-existent.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Can we talk about how the aliens' secret watches just like took them to a tunnel underground?
Yeah. How did
That was their whole special
Well-
thing. Is like it doesn't teleport you anywhere; it just takes you underground.
the tunnel just materializes?
Well, it like opened a portal, I think is what it was
Right.
supposed to be. They just didn't have good enough CGI or anything like
They
that.
said it was
to
for
make a
emergency.
portal.
That guy said it was for emergencies only.
Yeah. So I don't think it was supposed to be just like a tunnel that went underground. I think it was supposed to be like a portal
Okay.
that took them to that base.
That came out of nowhere and happened to
I
go
mean, that
to it.
base happened to be in that city because the Channel 54 station was in that like base.
Yeah, so it was
Above
probably
them.
just the Channel 54 station.
So that's why I feel like it was a tunnel.
Who
I think
knows?
they even said it. I think the voice even said it was an emergency tunnel.
So it just opens
It
wherever.
just opened right there because they were above it.
Well, he was in the bank earlier, and the guy just had something open in the bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you just open a tunnel in the bank.
You didn't know- you
It
didn't-
had to
he
have
didn't
been
open
like
it.
a portal
The guy
or
didn't-
something.
The guy in the bank didn't open the tunnel. He like materialized out of there.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It
It was
they
different.
jumped down.
Right.
It was the same thing, though. It
No, it
was
wasn't. He disappeared.
No, because it was a callback to that part in the movie.
I don't think so.
No,
I'm pretty sure it was. It
said
was
your
like, hey,
watch-
you
it said your
have.
watch failed. Here's an emergency tunnel.
Oh,
You have 10 seconds to get in.
Yeah, because when it was working properly in the bank, they just like poof and they were gone.
oh,
So it was definitely something different because they had to like physically jump into the tunnel to get down there. I don't know.
okay. And then I would like, I was thinking about this throughout the movies. Like, how popular was this movie really in the 80s, and how did that affect WWE stars or like wrestling stars getting movie roles?
I don't think it was very popular.
You don't think? Okay.
No. And even with that, I mean, Hogan was in what, Rocky 3? 2? I don't remember.
Was he in?
He was in one of the Rockies at the beginning. Rocky was doing an exhibition for charity, and Hulk Hogan was the wrestler that he was going up against.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
that
it's
was
always kind of
in-
been a thing. Well, at least since, like,
I want to say that was in Rocky 3, and Rocky 3 came out, what, 81 maybe? I know I'm wrong on
the
that date.
WWE didn't really hit its peak popularity until the 90s.
Right.
That was its golden era.
yeah. I was just wondering because it's like, you look at Rod Piper's filmography and it's just full of like non-memorable roles. Like, there's a filmography there, but I wouldn't say any of them are memorable, except maybe
So he's John Cena?
his except
the
maybe
Marine,
his
excuse me?
cameos on
Exactly.
Always Sunny, where he's like a wrestler or something on Always Sunny. But other than that, it wasn't anything memorable, except maybe this movie.
He was in multiple
I mean,
episodes of That's Sunny? I thought he was in that one episode.
Two episodes, I think is what it said. Other than that, to his acting ability,
I think he dies.
does he for real?
I think he dies.
To his acting ability, there wasn't, I didn't have any problems with it. There wasn't anything like flagrant that was just like, wow, what the hell was that? There was one part, I think they were in the hotel room when they were on the run, him and Frank, where he got upset and they like had a close up on his face that I thought was pretty good. Pretty good. It showed some chops.
That part was pretty boring in the hotel room.
Well, it's like at the beginning of it, I think.
Okay.
Speaking, there was a part at that hotel. I think once they like right when they first got to the hotel, and they were showing their faces and they were showing like all the swelling, but it seemed proportionate. I like that. I mean, I don't know if that was intentional or not, but their faces seemed like it looked like they just got in a fight. Because a lot of times in movies, they'll either be like super bruised and swollen like right away, like
Or
more than
there's,
it
like,
should have,
nothing.
or there's like a shiner and that's it.
Yeah.
I
It was
felt
a real fight.
it actually happened.
We talk about him getting hit with a bottle and flung out of a third story window. It was like it was nothing.
He did land on a decline though.
He did
So
land
it
on a
did.
decline.
So it's not a flat,
I know, but it still was
Drops
higher
down.
than I thought it would be. It was.
Yeah.
That
was pretty-
He
that was
just kinda,
pretty wild.
Turned around and he went flying out of the window.
Yeah.
I was looking to see some development of that character or that relationship, which we didn't really get. They kind of just wasted time on it. Like I said, it felt like a lot of scenes in this movie were just filler
Just
and like
wasted,
You
wasted
were trying to get
potential.
character development in a horror movie.
Oh, I'm trying to
From
get
the 80s?
something from this movie, and I feel like there was like a lot to be desired left at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to do verdict or do we want to talk a little more?
I mean, there are titties in this movie. You got to get to the very end.
The very end was
They're
it?
pretty
That
nice
R
for-
rating for
They're pretty nice for
15 seconds.
1988.
You had
Well,
to wait.
titties don't get you an R rating. There's movies nowadays that
Well,
have nudity
see,
that
like
don't
this
have R
movie
ratings.
comes out today.
This
It's
is Reagan's
PG-13.
America
This is
at the time this was
PG-13.
made.
It comes out today, guaranteed, because there wasn't that much blood at all, or
Right.
any really. He said "fuck" like twice, maybe.
It would have been PG-13 today. Yeah.
Like it could easily have gotten a PG-13 rating today.
There's even I couldn't tell you what movies offhand, but I know I've seen movies that have had nudity that were PG. I can't remember which ones.
PG.
PG. They're old, like 70s, 80s, but PG. Yeah. I
don't-
know I've seen at least one or two.
When did PG-13 hit the film industry?
I think early 90s, maybe late 80s, maybe.
I think it's the 90s.
So it automatically just got a R rating if it had like any sort.
If it was really bad, yeah, I got an R rating.
I just
I
didn't
think
feel
our
like it was
movie
that
studio's
bad. To
petition
get
for
an
PG-13.
Which is stupid. Like, get rid of
Yeah.
I'd get rid of PG-13. Why do we have that?
Well, no, I understand why we have it now, but
I don't. Man, there's
well,
so
back
much
then,
stuff.
like a movie like
There's so much
They
stuff in a
Live just
PG-13
gets a R rating when it really wasn't even that bad.
Right, but have you seen the PG-13 movies they put out the past 15 years? There's a lot in there that a 13-year-old should not see.
That's
In
true.
my opinion, at least.
Like The Dark Knight.
A lot going on. Dark Knight was PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all PG-13.
You got to draw those audiences.
Yep. There's no way
the
Lionsgate.
pencil on a
There's
dude's
no
face.
way, or not Lionsgate. What was it, Miramax?
Yeah, these kids
I
are
don't
used to
remember.
seeing death. They shoot each other in Fortnite.
It's not death.
This was
It's
2008.
fake death.
Well, it's just a movie.
Okay.
You can make the same argument.
All right, verdict. 'Cause we're getting off track. I can see like the allure with the cult status and that there's even been a couple memes made out of it, but I'm gonna go with Sinkable. This is my first Sinkable. I just don't think. It's a great unique story which you don't get anymore. But the movie itself was just not very interesting to watch. So Sinkable.
I'm going to have to agree. I'd say the movie's sinkable, not too much rewatchability. I don't think the story could have used some work. It was just so much left to be desired. I don't want to. You've seen it once. It's like, there's no reason to watch it again. So I can understand the cult following and the respect to the political message, and that we need to wake up and realize what we're watching and what we're consuming. But on the same time, everybody's trying to stay woke these days.
It's not hot.
So
It's not hot.
So, sinkable.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go say Unsinkable.
Okay, Dad.
I can appreciate the social commentary. I liked it. It didn't really, expand on the whole alien thing, but Alien was just like place marker for the social commentary.
It could have been anything.
It could have been, trolls or lizard people
or just actual
crab
rich people.
Lizard people.
Crab people.
I liked the corniness of the fights. I liked the shooting. Understand what this movie was and is from 1988. I'm not sipping on that haterade like you guys are. And it had titties.
I'm not sipping haterade.
They may have been the end, but
I like the end scene.
it was a nice pair of titties.
Well, those couple end scenes after they destroy the radio signal and everybody can see the reality. Like, I wish there was like a little bit more of that. That would have been kind of interesting to see.
More exposition, maybe.
It's just meant to get you to think what happens next.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was pretty good. Okay. Stay woke.
Listen, the takeaway
Unsinkable.
is John Carpenter's had plenty of good movies. This is on the lower end. It's still good. Like, I don't think it's a bad movie, but
I wouldn't watch it again.
Made a lot of
I got recommended this movie, 2019? I got recommended this movie probably 5 years ago and had the DVD that long and didn't watch it.
never watched it. Yeah,
But so it wasn't until we decided to do this that I was like, okay, we'll give it a watch.
All right.
All right.
Yep. So we got two sinkables and one unsinkable. Final answers.
This boat is taking on water.
All right. See you guys later.